Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to our podcast where we agree
To disagree.
on a lot of different things.
All right, so for today's topic, we are going to be talking about diet culture.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, and I know it can be a very loaded topic, but once again, we're just here to share our thoughts and opinions and how we agree and disagree on a lot of different things, just like we do in all of our episodes. So, are you ready to get started?
Yeah, a little disclaimer. We're not nutritionists or experts on this. And as always, we want to hear from you too. So make sure to reach us in the comments on YouTube or wherever you are. We always look through those. But we looked up diet culture, and this is what it says. The definition: diet culture is the belief that appearance and body shape are more important than physical, psychological, and general well-being. It's the idea that controlling your body, particularly your diet, by limiting what and how much you eat is normal. So let's start with some of our personal experience on the topic.
All right, so when we first met, Jonas would always make fun of me because I would eat chicken nuggets and french fries.
I don't know if I was making fun of you. I was just amazed that you could compete at such a high level with that sort of diet.
I mean, definitely making fun of, but it's okay. It's all right. But anyway, he was amazed, and I just thought it was weird because Jonas would eat like super healthy, and I just like was not used to that. In our pantry, we always had junk. We always had, fruit roll-ups and
You mean like growing up?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we had fruit roll-ups and all the different things, and my mom just like didn't really care. We just grew up eating like sugar cereal, and I mean, my mom would make really good meals for dinner and breakfast and stuff, but we just always had like the junky snacks. But anyway, so
And I was like the opposite. Like we didn't really have any. I mean, we kind of had treats, but it was like just the opposite. Like we ate pretty healthy. We didn't really go out to eat at fast food places unless it's In and Out because we're from California. So I grew up on that. But yeah, I just grew up eating pretty healthy and.
yeah, I go to his parents' house, and I'd always feel awkward walking to the pantry because I'm like, I literally can't eat anything. And Jonas would get kind of upset with me because he's like, there's so many options. And I'm like, I don't like any of it. And it was funny because then we finally like kind of talked to his mom because they would have like, what kind of cereal do you guys eat? I don't even know.
I don't know, like granola,
Like Raisin
pumpkin
Bran?
flax. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Just
so
good stuff.
she would go and buy me like the Cocoa Pebbles and Cocoa Puffs. So like they're always stored in their house. So it's nice whenever I go over there. There's always a little snack for me to eat. And then even for Christmas, for like stocking stuffers, she'll buy me big boxes of cereal. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, with gymnastics, I mean, it's definitely a big one. I mean, body image and all the things that come into it. I mean, all athletes kind of go through this, but being an athlete at such a young age, I feel like you don't really understand or you're not aware with those different kind of things, but definitely, going into the elite world, which is going the Olympic route, you definitely should know how important it is and what you need to be putting into your body, but I didn't really know at that age. I didn't have a nutritionist go over things with me, and I never was, overweight or anything like that. So I just kind of did what I did, what I was used to. I always ate junk. And then when I got to college, I continued and still did the same thing. Even though we had nutritionists talk to us, I just like didn't really care because I was like, well, I can still do gymnastics. I can still do my routine. So like, why does it matter, And then I decided, when I went back to go and train for the Olympics, I was like, you know what? Like, I think I should take this a little more seriously. So it took me until my 20s to figure it out, but I went gluten-free because it can cause inflammation.
And you did like a food sensitivities test, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Before you started that.
Yeah, my friend Gracie like ripped out some hair and then like put it in this little machine and it like tests all these different things, which was really cool. I should probably get an updated one, but I live in Utah now, so it's kind of hard. But it was really cool because it had all these different things, and one big thing was I don't drink a lot of water, and that really showed on there. And I was like,
Well,
oh.
even in college, because like I have to say, I felt like the U was pretty good about because you guys had like nutritionists, right? And I remember you would always
Yeah.
tell me like, "Hey, we did another hydration test today, and I'm in the red again."
And then I finally got into
And-
the yellow, and I was freaking out. It's like, I can't believe I got into the yellow because
And that-
green's really good.
Yeah, but because you just never drank water.
Yeah.
Mykayla's go-to meal when we were dating it'd be I guess there was a few, but the main one was Del Taco. I still have it memorized because I sat so many times in your car and listened to you, or just on the phone. I'd hear you in the drive-through. It was a soft taco, chicken,
Mm-hmm.
small fries, and a medium root beer.
That's correct.
That's what she just
It's
lived
pretty
off
good.
of. I'd go to her apartment. There'd be dino nuggets in the freezer, and I feel like you never even got groceries. Like that was about
And
it.
yeah, we just eat at
Some
the football
ketchup.
facility. I think that's also why I was like, I mean, obviously in college, like we worked out a lot more because we like had a trainer. We just did a lot more conditioning. And so I feel like I definitely got a little bit more toned and just built like different, I don't know, different muscles in different areas than I did before. And so I feel like I just looked a lot more lean, a lot more fit. But I also feel like I was just like even skinnier than normal just because I feel like I like never had time to eat. Like being a college student, you like have classes in the morning and then I'm like, I skip breakfast. And then for lunch, like I wouldn't even really eat lunch. We just went to the fueling station that they had for the athletes where you could get like all the snacks and different things. So, like I would just eat like some avocado and toast or some fruit, a banana, and then go to practice and then we'd eat dinner at the football facility because I didn't really know how to cook. So that was not good. But other than that, yeah, like I said, going and training for the Olympics, I was like, I need to do better about this. And once I switched my eating habits, I felt so much better. I wasn't as tired. Like I used to take so many naps. I would even like go to the trainer and then I would take a nap in the car right before I had practice if I got done early. And I feel like I still took naps once I started eating better, but at the same time, like I just wasn't as tired. And I felt a ton better. So it was definitely, I'm just really glad that I did it. It was like a game changer for sure. But in gymnastics, there are, especially growing up in the MARTA era. So back in like 2012, 2016, I feel like a lot of girls like wouldn't eat. A lot of their coaches like would make sure that they didn't have snacks and they would take snacks out of their suitcases and just like all the different things, which I'm sure a lot of you have already heard if you've read about, Larry Nassar and all the stuff with USA Gymnastics. But thankfully my coach never did that, and I was actually known for like
You're the
bringing
snack plug,
yeah
right?
yeah, for bringing all the snacks to camp because like I said, I grew up on like fruit roll-ups and gushers and all the yummy things, and so I'd bring those to camp because we would be working twice a day and working our butts off. So I'm like, I need, some junk to fill up for all the weight I'm losing. Like I felt like I would lose 10 pounds every time I went to camp because I feel like we would starve ourselves, and they did feed us and the food was good, but like you'd always feel awkward going up and like getting seconds or, just different things like that. So it was funny because all the girls would come to my room like, Mykayla, what do you got in your bag, And so I'd always be sharing all my snacks, which was really awesome because I like kind of made me feel good. I'm like, these poor girls, can't even have a snack. So,
Did MARTA or the national team staff like say anything about what you were supposed to be eating or not? Because I know Lisa was pretty good about just letting you do your thing.
I mean, when I started going, not really. I think before I started going to like camps and stuff, I think they were definitely more weird about it. But then I think Marta kind of like, as technology and things improve, I think she kind of started realizing, yeah, you need to fuel your body and have protein and different things to give you more energy and to recover. So, like, I think by the time I got there, it got better. So I'm not really sure, but I kind of know before that it used to be really bad, like where they just couldn't really eat and stuff. But I don't really know because I wasn't there. But other than that, like, there's a lot of gymnasts that have struggled with anorexia and all the things. And it's just really, really sad because I feel like no matter what shape or size you are, if you can still do your skills and still do your routines, like, it shouldn't matter who cares. Like, if you're fit, you're working out, you can eat whatever you want, do whatever you want. Like, Jonas works out so much that, like, he's like, well, since I'm always working out, I'm always in shape, then it gives me room to, like, eat whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think as long as, like, you're not getting injured and you're doing all right, like, who cares? But yeah, in my era, like growing up as a kid, I didn't really start hitting me till like high school, because you care more about what you look like, which is kind of dumb. But anyway, yeah, it took me till college to kind of figure it out, and then elite was when I really made the change. So it took me a while. I wish I would have known sooner. Like I wish I would have had someone tell me like how important it was like a lot sooner in my elite career. But I'm glad I made the change when I did because I was going through that bone spur and Achilles issue. So
I think
it
it's better
definitely
than being
helped.
pressured though, because I think everyone's heard horror stories of athletes, especially gymnasts, like their coaches or people telling them that, hey, like you're fat, right, when they're not, or like
Right.
you're doing this and this, which leads to eating disorders or problems. And like one of the first questions that you always get or always did get is, oh, like, are you on a crazy diet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, like training for the Olympics, gymnastics, what do you have to eat? You know, because people
Right.
just assumed that like it was just nuts. And so I think you were lucky, but did you see that like among the other girls, like diet culture or people saying things or coaches or pressures?
I mean, definitely. I mean, coaches, it was like we'd go to a meet and they're like, oh, I can't get that meal. Cause like I'd kind of just get what I want. And I mean, I would try to eat healthy when we were gone and at meets because I knew like I should not be eating junk before we're going to go compete at like world championships. But, some of the girls were like scared to get food because like my coach won't let me eat that. Or, even some coaches would be weird and be like, you're drinking too much water. You're going to gain water weight. So like it was just really weird. Like I'm like I just don't know how you guys live like that. Like it's just not worth it to me to train at a gym where they're going to beat you down, say you're fat, put you on a scale. Like I mean that's just kind of how the culture used to be in gymnastics, which is sad. Like it just shouldn't be that way. But once again, like we're in a new era where things are just so different and have improved so much, that it's like it's okay to look the way that you are. You're perfect the way you are. And so, I don't know, it was kind of crazy, but like one time when I was at camp, I was on beam and I had my period. It was that time of the month and Marta came over to Lisa and was like, "Why does Mykayla look so fat?" And Lisa's like, "She's on her period. She's bloated. Like, leave her alone. She's fine. She looks fine." And so it's just like weird things like that, like, because my stomach's poking out a little bit, and it's like, it's just crazy to me because I'm like, I'm still hitting my routines. I'm still doing everything. Like, you shouldn't be getting on me, but that's just kind of the way it was. And it's improved a lot now. Like, I feel like obviously we have safe sports, so a lot can't be said by coaches, but also it's kind of going in the right direction. Things need to be changed. And I feel like with Lisa, like my coach, I was super grateful because I feel like when I was younger, she'd always kind of be like, get like a chicken Caesar salad. So I feel like I'm kind of scarred from chicken Caesar salads, but like, especially like once I got older, she knew that I knew my body the best. And so like, I would still get chicken and I'd get steak and I'd just get different things and she was okay with it. Sometimes she'd be like, maybe don't get pasta like the night before the meet or like before the meet, which is true because you don't want to be heavy, like feel heavy. So she would guide me a little bit here and there, but like, yeah, like she never really cared what I ate. I mean, I don't think she really ever had conversations with my mom either about it. So I was pretty lucky, pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I think diet culture is like the perfect term for it because it's definitely a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, I don't think it's nearly as bad in men's sports as in women's sports.
I know, like
Like,
the guys' gymnastics team, they just eat whatever they want. Hamburgers, like French fries all the time. But I do have to say really quick before you jump
hmm
into this, when we went to Worlds 2019, we had Tom because he was the new Olympic coach. But I just remember it was after like team finals or prelims or podium training, something like that. We all went and he let us get burgers. So all of us got burgers and French fries, and we're like, me and Simone just look at each other and we're like, this would never happen if we had Marta. Like it was just so weird. So yeah, it's just totally different now. But anyway, go
which I
ahead.
think is cool because I think like that experience you guys had and just like be able to feel happy and like eat a burger, like maybe that wouldn't be as healthy as something else, salad or whatever. But I think like the pros outweigh the cons there. But
Right. After working so hard too, we deserve a little reward, you
yeah,
know.
but so like I played sports every year growing up. I did soccer for like 7 years. I did track and field. I did cross country. And like it never came up ever. Like, I mean, we'd carbo load sometimes, like before soccer games, like the night before we'd have like a team party, and we'd eat pasta. We, we'd
It's crazy.
I remember soccer games growing up. We'd like eat donuts before the game. Like we were, I don't know, just kids, just doing our thing. Like never came up. The only time was like I started competing like on a really good team, so I travel nationally for track and cross country. And my coach would have very specific things that we like could or couldn't eat like the day of or day before a race. Like things that were simple to digest. We'd like stay away from certain stuff. But like that was it. It wasn't like during the season. It was basically just like be healthy, be happy, like run. It was never like there's no shame or anything. And like on like my soccer team or track team, like we had kids like all different body types and shapes, but we're all good athletes and like it worked. So I never really ran into that even in high school. So I definitely think it's like a cultural thing, and gymnastics, just because it's such an intense sport, probably gets
Right?
it
Like
more than
you
anyone else.
kind of think like, oh, you gotta look. I mean, before it's like you have to be super skinny, otherwise you don't look good, and it's just like that's just sad because not everyone's naturally super skinny. Like I've always been like shorter and stockier and thicker, but I definitely got more lean.
I don't
Like
know if I'd
through,
call you stocky or
I feel
thick.
like short and stocky, but um, you know, just through college and like just working out differently just shaped me so much more different. I've just felt a lot stronger and a lot better, and so that was just kind of crazy to think that like just working out a little different just made that much of a difference, and then eating better. But I mean, for me, I had it easy, but it was kind of sad to see some of the other athletes go through that or like can't eat certain things. Like I would always just feel so bad. I'm like, why do you guys have to be like that? Like, I don't know.
Here's a good question. Have either of us ever developed unhealthy dieting patterns? I mean, we kind of talked about yours. And then follow up is, how did you learn what were healthy and unhealthy patterns in dieting when you grew up around people that may have been struggling with it? So I don't know. I've always, like, since I was a kid, tried to eat healthy. It's just, I wish I like take credit for it. Like, I've worked really hard. It's just kind of come natural to me. I just feel better when I eat healthy, so I just kind of always do. Um, I do have a sweet tooth, but I've always worked out and I've always been really active. So like I can have, an Oreo milkshake and not even feel bad. Like it doesn't even phase me. So I don't know. I've been pretty lucky. I mean, I grew up, like I said, eating healthy food. I never really had any pressures or anything. Didn't really experience diet culture too much at all.
I do feel like the older you kind of get though, like I don't always care for like Chick-fil-A. I still really like In and Out, but I just don't like really care for Chick-fil-A and all that other stuff anymore. Like I'd rather like go eat somewhere like Yummy, or I mean it's still not healthy, but and especially like being done with gymnastics, like I'm out of shape. Like I know like I weighed 105 during the Olympics. I weigh 118 now, and to
That's
me
not out of
like
shape.
I'm out of shape, guys. Like I
Well, you still
know
work out.
it took me a year though. I took a year off and I finally started working out at Burn Boot Camp, and I've been loving it. It's been so good, but at the same time like it just it's just not the same like gymnastics. And so it's just really hard trying to find like that happy medium because like it's just Jonas and I, and we do eat out a lot, but we also have been cooking more at home. So I do feel like so much better. Or like even when we go home for Christmas or we go to your mom's on Sunday, like being back with our family, I'm like, man, this is so good to have a home cooked meal. Like, why can't I cook like this? Like, why don't I know how to do this? And so I'm trying slowly, like I'm getting better at it, but it's just like it's just so hard, but I feel so much better. Like I
So do you
just
feel better like now, like what you eat and how you work out and what you weigh, like compared to when you were in gymnastics, or is it?
no, I feel worse.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm feeling better than like where I first started after retirement,
Uh-huh.
but I just like, and like, I still like, I know I'm not like big, but like, I just feel bigger because you like go and look at like pictures, like old pictures, and I'm like, wow, like I was so skinny, but at the same time, it's like I was at my peak of like training, like I will never be at that peak again unless I go do like CrossFit or something professionally, but that's not going to happen. And so I just like body shame myself. Like it happens because, we look at social media and you're like looking at all these influencers and all these like pretty gorgeous girls that are like 5'8" and 5'10" and they're all skinny and have long legs. And I just feel like short and stumpy. And I'm just like, that is not cute. But then I sometimes, have to go and look and I'm like, people don't see me like that. I just see myself as that. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
all my followers and all the people that know me are probably like, oh, Mykayla, like, she's so awesome. She's so cute. But, like, sometimes to me, like, we get hard on ourselves, and I'm like, I just feel short, stocky, gross, ugly
I think it's just you compare yourself to either
to
what you see
others. Yeah.
others or just where you've been. I think it's
Right.
harder for athletes because, like, so yesterday I had a bunch of friends over. We were watching the UFC fight, and there's a guy who used to be like one of the best, if not the best fighter in the world, who's now a coach. And he's like, he's still an athlete, right? But he just looks bigger, obviously, because he's not like cutting. He's not like 100% trim. He's not like training in training camps like for fighting. And so you look at him, any normal person looking at him would be like, oh, like that's an athlete. But us looking at him, we're like, man, like he's gotten kind of chubby. He's not chubby, but he's just bigger. I think it's just a thing. Like it's tough for athletes because when you're training, like when you're competing, like it's hard to maintain that, right? And so like even if you're still healthy, because obviously you're still healthy, you still work out, and maybe it's healthier what you're doing now than because you were kind of
bumming around, eating potato chips on the couch.
Well, I mean, like you were training so much, like all you were doing, I feel like was just training, napping, sleeping.
Yeah.
Like maybe like this lifestyle is healthier for you. I would say it probably is. It's definitely more sustainable, you know? Like there's a reason that gymnasts peak pretty early. It's just tough.
Yeah. But I mean, it is nice because a lot of people say that I look healthier,
Yeah.
which kind of scares me because I was like, did I not look healthy before? Like, I don't know. But so, I mean, that's also a compliment. So it doesn't make me feel always too bad about myself. Like, it does make me feel better. Like, okay, yeah, I'm healthy. And everyone's like, you were at your peak, so you're fine. Like, you're still in good shape. It's just, I feel okay. I think the biggest thing for me is just not like having like defined abs. Like, it's just kind of like mush now.
It's not much.
It's mush. It's just kind of like
not.
rolls on rolls, but
It's not that bad, everybody. Again, I mean,
feels like that.
you're just comparing yourself to when you were in elite.
I know it's hard, but at the same time, like,
But it's like, would you
I'm
want?
okay.
Yeah, I mean, like to get that body back. Like, would you want to be working out 6 hours a day again? Like,
no,
that's the thing.
I know, but then the thing is like you look at social media and you see all these little girls that are like, or not little girls, you see these moms that have had like 4 kids and they're freaking ripped, and you're like, how the heck? Like, are you just naturally built that way? Like, because like you see them work out, but like they don't work out that crazy. So I'm like, do you just not eat? Like, do you not eat food? Like, I don't know. Like, I just like insane to me. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to remember everyone's body is different.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Like,
That's what I try to tell myself. I'm like, it's fine. As long as I'm healthy and I'm doing okay, like, and I feel great and I can move, like, I'm okay. I'm living my best life. That's all that matters.
it's a good way to look at
Yeah.
it. As far as specific diets go, I mean, you mentioned like you did the gluten-free. I was doing that with you. Besides that, I don't think you've ever done like a specific diet.
No.
I did the carnivore diet earlier this year.
Yeah. I kind of wish I would have done it, but I
Yeah.
was too scared. Because I love meat. Like, I'm a meat eater.
Well, so the funny thing is, I like before the carnivore diet, I didn't really eat a ton of meat.
Yeah, because you like seafood, fish, and stuff a lot.
I mean, that's meat, but like my go-to is like I eat oatmeal every day. I'll have a protein shake with like fruit every day, and I eat eggs. I guess eggs is meat.
I know, but you just don't like meat. Like, you don't really like steak and stuff that much, unless it's like Ruth's Chris steak.
Yes,
Where
that's
it's like
accurate.
really nice. Yeah.
But I did it because I had a whole bunch of friends that did the carnivore diet. Actually, I'm going to rewind. The first time I heard about it was from Coach Bob
Oh yeah.
back in Desert Lights. I one day like I went in to film practice because we were back then, you know, we were doing YouTube and stuff. And Bob was eating some beef jerky. We were just talking, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing the carnivore diet right now. And I thought he was kidding. So I was like laughing. I'm like, oh, that's funny. He's like, no, like I'm really only eating meat. And I'm like, that's impossible. Like you can't survive only eating meat. And he's like, no, he's like, it's a real thing. And we were talking about it, and Bob's crazy. Like Bob can do like 10 like one-handed push-ups.
If there's a point where we can bring people on for our podcast, if we ever start doing that, we need to have Bob on
We
our
need to
podcast.
have Coach Bob on, yeah.
Coach Bob, like, he has an interesting life. I still don't know to this day if it's true or not, but he says he grew up with gorillas. He can walk like a gorilla, his hands, like, he has an article, like, he brings in an article how he got lost and he grew up with gorillas and then they
I
found
didn't
him.
know that.
Yes.
Coach Bob's
and he
really
eats
cool.
crazy things. He eats like bones. He just, yeah.
So anyways, so that's when I first heard about it. I'm like, that's pretty interesting. And then fast forward like a year or two, I hear on a podcast, there's this guy who had autoimmune disorders. And after doing the carnivore diet, like they went away. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Then I had friends that started to do it, just like to try it out. And one of my best friends, he's had like terrible acid reflux his whole life. Like bad, like he wakes up every morning like dry heaving, and he has sleep apnea. And I have some other friends with like other stuff, like anxiety, like all these like weird things that just got cured just by only eating like meat and water and salt. And so I think it's more of like an elimination thing. It's not like, because like not like exactly what meat does for you, but it's just the fact that you're cutting out all this processed stuff. And then like if you're eating clean meat, you know, that is pretty good. So I was intrigued. So I tried it, And I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like I didn't love it just because I eat so many carbs and like I work out so much that I was in a big calorie deficit the whole time. I did it for 2 weeks. I was
But
counting my calories and like I just couldn't get like normally like right now I'll eat like 5 or 6 thousand calories a day. And on meat, I was like stuffing myself. I was trying to eat as much meat as I could, and I was like barely getting like 3 or 4 thousand.
but the awesome thing that came from it is Jonas sweats bad, like in his armpits. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Exposing you to the whole world, but he would sweat so bad it was disgusting. Like and so it
It
like
cured
cured
it.
his sweaty armpits.
Yeah, like, and even the weirdest thing is like now I'm not on carnivore anymore, but I feel like it's not nearly as
Right.
bad as what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like I used to have a problem. Like I was thinking about getting like Botox injections or like I had tried like medicinal like antiperspirant, like nothing would work. I just sweat, right? Like it's kind of just how I've always been, but for whatever reason it just got worse, especially my armpits. So I could like only wear black shirts, because otherwise you can see.
Until you were on Ninja and you were like sweating because you were sitting there for like 6 hours
Yeah,
till you ran and
so
his
I
whole
took my shirt
was
off,
just like
but I did the carnivore diet after Ninja.
I know. But I'm
So
just saying
I mean,
it
it
was
fixed
that
that.
bad.
It was crazy. Like it fixed that. Like I slept better than I've ever slept my whole life. I used a Whoop to track like my heart rate, my sleep, and heart rate variability, and like a whole bunch of health metrics. And we have this scale that Mykayla used a bit when she was training to track like body fat percentage and stuff. And like every single metric that tracks health, like improved over those 2 weeks for me. So it was crazy. I mean, would I do it again? Like maybe. I feel like I'm
I
in
kind
pretty
of want
good
to try
shape.
it.
I don't know how long you'd last. It's pretty tough because it's a keto diet,
I can
right?
do hard
Keto is
things.
I know that, but you also I know you've eaten a lot healthier too, but keto is where you don't eat carbs for energy. You get your energy from fat. And so like the transition period is a few days, and that's kind of rough. And then like once you transition, it's fine, but it's also like I just missed my Oreo milkshakes. I missed cookies and all the stuff that I eat. So I might do it again. I don't know, but it was really cool and it was interesting to see and like
It's also a really easy way to lose weight, like really
yeah,
fast. Jonas is already like really skinny, and he lost. What'd you lose? Like 5, 10 pounds.
like 10 pounds,
And he looked.
2 weeks.
I was like, you need to stop. You're looking too skinny.
Yeah, but I was yeah, so I only did it for 2 weeks, but since then, I don't know, I like meat more now, and I did a lot of research during the time about health benefits and stuff. I feel like there's a lot of things that are wrong with what we're taught about health and like the food pyramid in particular.
Hmm.
People know that now, but anyways, um, so if Mykayla does it, we'll let you know. I don't know if you want to do
Let me
it,
know if I
but
should try it. I kind of want to try it just to like. I like meat. Like I just love meat, so like I feel like I
there's
could
no
get
way
through
you
it.
would do it for more than a day. I bet you'd say I need cereal.
You think?
Well, I mean,
I
you can
mean,
try.
I
We
think I
can
would really
see.
miss like my chocolate milk from Dutch Bros with the pumpkin spice, especially during fall. So maybe we should wait till next year.
Let's wait till fall's over, till
Yeah.
holidays are over at
Yeah.
least. So we looked up some stats. We're just going to talk a little bit about them because they're pretty interesting. So 20.4% of people worldwide count calories.
I do not do that.
The only time I've ever counted calories is just because I'm curious. Like, I wonder like how much I eat in a day. And that's like literally I only did that during carnivore because I could tell that I was like not eating enough calories. So I'm like, let's count up a typical day before.
See,
But
oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say besides that, I've never counted calories or like cared really.
Yeah, to me, I'm just too lazy to do all the math. I'm like, that's too much work. I don't care. I'd rather starve than eat too
Jeez,
many
that's dark.
calories. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, 1 in 5 people count calories. So, and I mean, personally, I don't think it's about calories. I think it's about the type of calories. So I would say counting calories, like if you're trying to lose weight or trying to eat healthier, I don't think that should be your go-to. I think you should just try and get healthier food. But
Hmm.
again, I've never done it. 15.9% of people worldwide eat diet foods or use diet products.
Diet stuff is so bad for you.
I
You
mean, I would
guys.
think it's higher. Are you kidding me? 15%? Like, how many people do you know that drink diet soda?
Everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Diet soda's so bad. Everyone's like, it's so much health. No. I say just get rid of soda completely. I don't drink it anymore. And then, like, if I ever go to have a little bit of soda once in a while, like, we were in Universal, and my brother in law thought that I still drink root beer. And so he got me the Barks root beer because most root beer doesn't have caffeine in it, which is still doesn't really make a difference. But it was the caffeinated one. And I was like, whoa, like this is like disgusting. Like I just like, it was just too much. It was gross. Like if you just go a week without it, it just like becomes a habit. Like it's so easy. I think soda is just so bad. It's so gross. I don't know.
The whole diet soda thing,
It's
I've
bad.
never been able to understand because
I
it's
don't
like,
get it
why do you
either.
drink soda? You drink it because it tastes good. Like, there's no other reason that you drink soda,
Mhm.
right? Like, and everyone knows it's like there's nothing that's in it that's good for you. So the only reason you drink soda is because it tastes good. Diet soda
Tastes
tastes
disgusting.
worse, and it's probably unhealthier because they use artificial sweeteners. So it's like it's never made sense to me. But
I don't get it.
plenty of people are addicted, Diet Coke or whatever. So I'm surprised that's not higher.
Yeah.
12.4% track their food intake and physical activity levels.
I don't do that either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that makes sense for athletes.
Yeah.
So 12% of the population does that. I mean, like, yeah, when you were training, you didn't
I
track any of
never,
that.
yeah.
You just you just did your thing.
I just feel like that adds on like a whole nother like I mean, I guess if you're like trying to like really work on things and be better and like get into shape, like I get it. But like I just feel like that stresses me out and like adds extra stress that like I don't need. Like I don't want to worry about
Yeah,
body image and weight issues when I'm trying to work. Yeah, no.
it's probably true. 11.9% follow a specific diet or fad diet. I feel like I don't know. I don't know anyone that like does that consistently.
Yeah.
I know people that do diets like kickstart, their health or like get back on track, but I don't know. I just think it's hard. Like I think, and like I eat pretty healthy, but I think it's like unhealthy to be so strict sometimes for an extended period of
Mm.
time.
I feel like you're just not living life that way. Like
Yeah,
just really treat
like
yourself, enjoy it a little bit. I mean, you only live once,
yeah,
so
like a piece of cake, isn't gonna kill you, right? I think if you have those once every once in a while or whatnot. Um, but it's funny that fad diet came up because that's definitely a thing. It's like I feel like there's always
Mhm.
like some new thing,
Yeah.
and it's like it really shouldn't be. They should just be they eat healthy and exercise,
Right.
But like there's always like, oh, like do this specifically, and it's like there's no. I don't think there's
Like the
any.
keto diet and all the things and
Yeah, I don't. There's no silver bullet,
yeah.
in my mind. It's
When I was at Utah, our athletic trainer at the time, he just told me because I was like, I just want to be more like toned because like I'm strong and I'm fit. I just want to be more toned. And he's like, the biggest thing is just like eating the right things, getting protein, not putting a bunch of crap in your body because the better you eat, the more toned you'll get. So it's just like when you put in that junk, you just don't get that tone definement. But I mean, I don't know. Like I say, you just got to enjoy yourself. Like when I went gluten free on the weekends, I'd have a little bit of gluten. So I didn't go like the whole week without eating gluten. I
hmm
just did it through the week. And then on the weekends, we'd go to like Olive Garden and I'd eat like the breadsticks or we'd get dessert. So like I did like enjoy myself a little bit, even though like I kind of went on that strict diet kind of. But
yeah.
so I still was happy I got to enjoy my weekend, which was really nice.
I definitely think that's the way to do it. And the final one is 9.7% of people use meal replacements. I think when it says meal replacements, it's talking about like those shakes, right? Just
Mhm.
the meal replacement
Mhm.
shakes. Which is funny because I've always just thought those taste good. So sometimes I've just bought them just to snack on. Like I don't think I've ever actually used that as a meal replacement, but it's just like a fun chocolate drink.
What are those like one drinks, like the peaches and cream one I
Oh,
used to
that's the
get?
Premier Protein.
Yeah, and they always say like don't eat if you drink this because it's like a meal replacement type of thing. But I would still drink those and eat food
Just because
because it tastes
and
good.
just because it tastes good. Yeah. So Mykayla would always, when she was training, she would always get the peaches and cream protein shakes. Not even really for the protein, just because it tasted
Tasted
good.
good,
And then she could like feel good, be like, oh, there's protein in it.
which
Which
is good because
yeah,
when you
way
work out
better
so
than
much, you need more protein. But
it's way better than getting like a peaches and cream Italian soda, which is what you do now.
yeah, but I get those like rarely
I
when we
know, I
go to the
know.
food trucks. I like what's
Those
it
are those
called?
are good though. Like every time you
What's
get
like
those,
the soda like Sprite? What's the other one? Get
Seven
on
Up.
airplanes.
Oh, ginger ale.
Ginger ale. I can do ginger ale. Sprite makes me feel like when I had the flu, and Sprite's just disgusting. But ginger ale I can do a little bit. Like sometimes if I'm on a plane, like I like a little bit of ginger ale just to like make me feel better. Because sometimes when I'm on planes, I just feel like I'm gonna throw up, and especially if I don't get like a full meal before I get on a plane and travel. So like I can do ginger ale a little bit. And so when we go to the food trucks, they use like ginger ale and they make like a little peaches and cream Italian soda. And so I will have one of those once in a while. So I guess you can't say I
Those are good.
don't ever drink soda anymore, but like I'll do like an Italian soda once in a while.
So going back to diet culture in general, do you think society places too high of an emphasis on it?
I mean, I feel like not so much now. I feel like they used to for sure, but I feel like we've just jumped to a whole nother level of like body image. Like, doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I agree. I would argue it's almost maybe gone too far.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd agree with you on that one.
because like, I mean, there's
We talk
trade-offs.
about this all the time.
We do talk about this all the time. I think it's better like if you are happy, I think it's better to be happy and like unhealthy than healthy and unhappy. Right? Like we can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think like comes first, but I think it's like very rare when getting healthier would not make you happier. I mean, there's just so many studies and so many benefits, and like I've seen in my life and like people's lives that I know, like the healthier you are, like the happier you tend to be, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I like the whole idea of like be happy with who you are, and I like the idea that's kind of becoming more of a thing where like we don't like pressure people to have like a certain look or whatnot. But I do think that like as a society, we should care more about just general health
Mm-hmm.
and wellness, however you get it, you know. Um, 'Cause like it's a real thing, you know, like if you're healthier, you're happier. But again, like it's way better to be where we are now than to be like gymnastics in your
Right.
era, you know, where
Maybe
like, hey,
super skinny,
yeah, like you have
Victoria's
to look
Secret
like
model,
this, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think, I mean, it's hard to like find that perfect balance, but like for me personally, I think like you just be healthy, you know, like don't beat yourself
Mm-hmm.
up about certain diets or like look in a certain way. Because again, like Mykayla talked about social media, like everyone has a different body type. Everyone responds differently to foods and to working out. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that never work out that look great. You know,
I know, not fair.
and there's other people that like really have to work hard. You know, everyone's just different, right? And
Yeah.
so like, and that social media makes it so hard because you just see other people and you compare yourself to them.
Right. But also you have to think like everything is so
Edited.
edited that it's
Hmm.
like I don't know, realistically I'm like, is that really real? You know? Like obviously I think like weight wise, like whatever, but like, it was like with me, like I talked about the comment I got the other day where someone had mentioned that like I'm fake because I have tons of Botox and plastic surgery. And I'm like, I do not have any of that. I was like, I got lip filler one time.
It's probably just the
But
Instagram filter
it's probably the Instagram filters.
because
It's
they
the
do that.
filters.
There's
That's
like
why,
there's Instagram filters now that like give you makeup, right?
yeah, I know.
It's
And
just
eyelashes. Like sometimes I'll be using it and then I'll put it on Jonas. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Take that filter off. And because I forget, like when
she'll
I
like
switch it to
we'll like
him.
go to take a picture and she already has like that filter preset and I look all dolled
But
up. So
there's like pros and cons to the filters because if you're like not wearing makeup and you just feel
yeah, you
really
know, I think it's
gross, it's
cool.
nice to kind of just like pop on a little filter. But then like it definitely does like change it. But then it was funny because he commented on the picture I posted because I just dyed my hair brown, this person. And when I posted it, I didn't even put a filter on the picture. It was just what my camera had taken. And I was like, oh, these actually look like naturally really good. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put a filter on it. I don't need to put a filter on it. And I sometimes just hate filters because it just like almost sometimes makes me feel worse about myself because
Well,
then I
I
see
tell
myself
you,
like normally and I'm like,
no, because I tell you,
what?
you look better without the
Yeah, you
filter.
do.
Yeah,
Whatever. I know. It's hard. Social media is just hard. I'm like, I just wish like I also just wish like girls didn't have to wear makeup. Like why do girls look so rough without makeup and guys look so good without it? Like what if we all just stopped wearing makeup, Like it'd kind of be nice.
you could start a
Like didn't
thing.
care. I know. And same with social media. If we just like all didn't use filters and just naturally posted, like I think that would be super cool.
You know, I will say, talking about social media and like being natural, the one thing about diet culture that affects guys like more than anything is like steroid use.
Mm.
There's all these guys on Instagram that are just roided up, and so it's tough because like you can look great, these guys that are
Says
just.
Jonas that wants to take steroids.
I don't want to take steroids. I
You're always
want to
like,
look
I want
like
to
the
take
guys that take
steroids. I want to take steroids. I'm
steroids.
like, don't take steroids. That is so
Because
bad.
I feel totally fine with how I look, so like it doesn't really affect me. But like I know, like I have friends that like work out and stuff, and it's tough. Like seeing pictures of these guys that are huge and like shredded.
Mm-hmm.
They're like big, but also really toned. And like there's some of this stuff, it's like unattainable naturally, and so that's what makes it hard. It's because like you can't get there just eating healthy and working out like these levels that some of these guys are at. Like you have to inject yourself with steroids. You have to be taking performance enhancing drugs and stuff. And so it's like that one, like that's tough.
Well, even
Cause
when we were in Florida, we were talking to my sister because she has been having all these problems and she's trying to get like her levels back and balanced or whatever. And so what was she taking?
just like testosterone
Yeah, she was
supplements or
taking
something.
testosterone just to shoot it in her butt because like girls are supposed to be at this certain level and guys are at this level, but like kind of when you get older and you have kids, it like changes. So like it's good to like be at that level again because she's trying to like work out and be fit and she just like can't be fit at all because her levels are so low. So now her levels are like to where they're evened out and she's feeling better and her anxiety's better and she actually went gluten-free because it helps with her anxiety and like all these things. And so she just feels better, she's looking better, she can like actually feel like she's like working out and doing the things she needs to do. But then it's crazy because there's these girls that like she's worked out with that like take way more of them out than what a girl's supposed to have. And so they're just like huge and muscly and super like fit. And my sister just gets so frustrated because she's like, well, I would look like that too if I, shot up that much, in my butt and, get all that extra testosterone. But
It's tough because like for guys, I don't think there's anything wrong with like doing steroids. If that's what you want to look like, that's what you want to
right.
do. I don't think it's healthy, but like more power to you. I think the problem is like when other people see that and then they get frustrated because they can't look like
Mm-hmm.
that, and so they just give up, or they compare themselves to that, like
Yeah, it's sad. It's a
right, because
problem.
like I work out every day, sometimes twice a day, and I'm never gonna look like a bodybuilder, right?
To
Like
me, you look like a bodybuilder. I think you look great.
oh, thanks,
You're in
Mykayla.
good shape. Way
Appreciate
better shape
that.
than I am in. I'd say I used to be more fit. Now you're more fit than me.
Yeah, it's
We
you're still pretty
changed,
fit though. I haven't gone to the workouts with you yet.
kind of.
Mykayla does these really intense workouts, and I haven't gone with her yet.
Yeah,
She
I've
keeps
been.
inviting me.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
because
scared
Jonas
because I
would
like my
die.
workouts. I don't know if I
You
die,
would
but
die
it'd probably
because
be pretty
there's
tough.
guys that come. A lot more girls do these workouts, but some of like the husbands will come in and they're like dying. I mean, they're stronger, so they can lift like do like more like weight stuff, but like they're dying, and I'm like, ooh, if they're dying, Jonas is gonna die because Jonas is in shape. But it's hard. It's hard stuff.
So do you think the diet industry is to blame? So like selling products, like targeting
Oh yeah,
people.
all
Yeah.
the time. Like it's so bad. All the stuff they put in our food. Even like so my friend Emma, she was a little overweight. She wasn't happy with it, and so she's been doing things to help, to be more fit and to be healthier and to lose weight. And I just know from like her like being with her all the time and we'd go out to eat, she'd be so mad because like she's just like, why do they give such big portions? She's like, this is why like I'm out of shape and I'm not healthy because then I just sit here and eat all this food because they give us these huge portions. And for me, like I just don't eat that much, so like I'm always like, I just want to get a kids meal, and even then I like can't eat a kids meal. I'm like, that's just like too much food. And so like when we go out to eat and I get an adult in a talking really fast. When we go out to eat and we get an adult meal, I'm like, like I just like want to throw up because I'm like, how do people just sit here and eat this whole meal? Like I'm gonna vomit. Like it's too much food. And then I'm like, Jonas, can you eat it?
And I'm always complaining it's not enough food.
Yeah, but like you're a lot bigger and you eat a lot more. So
Yeah. No, I mean you make a good point. Like, and I've heard people like friends like from out of the country say like portion sizes in America are insane.
just bad.
And then like all like the health products and stuff. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like I don't think there's a silver bullet. It's like there's always fads. Like a little bit ago, it was apple cider vinegar, right? Like that was
Mm-hmm.
just the thing.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Like there was like the acai berry diet, right? Like there's always things, but like health doesn't change. It's
Mm-hmm.
like if you want to lose weight, you got to burn more calories than you eat. Like it's simple math. Like if you want to be healthy, just work out and eat healthy, you know, like try and stay away from too much sweets and starches and carbs and stuff. Like get protein, you know, eat your fruits and vegetables. Like it's pretty simple, but I feel like the diet industry like overcomplicates it so they can sell those products, you know. So I definitely think there's some blame there.
But even like with fruit, like all the pesticides and all the crap they put in our fruit, it like makes me nervous. Like I'm always like, oh, I'm eating fruit. This is so good. And I'm like, this probably still is not good. So it kind of makes me sad because like I want to eat more fruit, but then I still kind of feel bad eating fruit. I don't know. Should I not care about that? Should I
I
not
don't
worry
know. I mean,
about
that's
that?
a
I don't know.
that's a whole other. I mean,
I don't know.
I
It's just
think
frustrating.
organic doesn't use pesticides, right?
That's true, but
I always
I
get the
feel like they don't
organic.
always have organic. They
Well,
have
I always
organic bananas.
yeah, I always get the organic bananas. I don't know if there's really any difference. They look the exact same as the other bananas, but I always buy the organic
But we've been
bananas, you
trying,
know.
like, we get like the more like organic eggs too.
Yeah, I mean, I always get like the cage-free,
Yeah, there we go. It's
like the free-range
yeah.
eggs. I like brown eggs. Um, we always get like grass-fed beef, butter made from grass-fed beef. So we try, but you know, it's
It's
tough.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a good question is if someone in your family struggles with diet culture, does that affect how you view dieting?
Yeah, I kind of liked this question because so my parents both have kind of been overweight. My mom especially, she had me when she was 40. So for her, she just had a harder time losing weight at that age. And she had a lot of thyroid problems and she couldn't really work out. And she had like a meniscus tear and she had really bad knees. And then she needed a knee replacement, but she was really scared to get a knee replacement. So she like kept postponing it. And then she got it like sometime after the 2016 Olympics, she finally went and did it. And then even though she's had her knees fixed, now her hips are bad because she went so long with like bad knees and her hips were bad that now that her knees are good, her hips have like shit. I don't know. So she's just like been a hot mess. It's just really sad to see my poor mom like struggle through these things because my family, we're all like young, we're fit, we're like to go to amusement parks, we like to go shopping and do fun things and you know, do nature stuff and I don't know. So it's just really hard because my mom's just never been able to do that. Like growing up as a kid, like we would go into the shopping mall and my mom would have to like sit down. Like we'd barely like walk a mile, not even a mile. Like we'd barely, you know, a couple feet and she'd be like, okay, I have to sit down. And so then she'd have to sit down for 10 minutes and then I didn't want to wait for her. So I would like just try to run and go into stores and then I'd call her and be like, hey, is it okay if I buy this? If I get this, she'd just give me her card. And so it was just like really hard to not like be able to like shop with my mom or just have to walk slower or wait. And then like, of course in high school, like I feel like that's when you really care about body image and like, you know, you think high school's like this whole thing and you know once you get out of high school you're like why did I care so much, that was so dumb. And so like in high school of course like sometimes I'd be kind of embarrassed, which is like sad. I shouldn't be embarrassed of my mom, you know, being a little overweight and like even like dating and like bringing guys to the house, like you know you talk about with your friends and you just kind of get embarrassed and it's like you shouldn't be embarrassed of like what your parents are look like who cares, you know. And so it was really hard like kind of growing up like that and not having my mom be able to do anything. And so I think for me it kind of gave me like oh I don't want to be like that, you know, like I'm going to try my best to like be healthy and always be in shape and not let myself get to that point because it's like I wish my mom just would have done these things sooner so she could have just like fixed it before it's gotten too late, you know. And so she's just been struggling her whole life and it's just sad, but you know, we still have a great time. Like me, my sister, my mom, we went to Disney and my mom just sat in her little automatic chair that she bought. And so she just got to go around. And then it was kind of nice because we got to cut lines because she was handicapped. So like there's kind of pros and cons to it. But like I just feel bad for my mom because like there's just not really any way she can like work out. And so I don't know. It's tough. And my dad has type 2 diabetes and he loves food and like loves cheese. And so like, you know, all he needs to do is like get healthier and then he won't have diabetes anymore. But he just loves food too much. He's like, I don't care. Like, I just want to live a happy life. So like, I'm just going to go continue to eat ice cream and cheese and all the things. And then it like makes us worried because we're like, we don't want our dad to like die because of diabetes, you know, because his dad had it really bad. And so like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just sad to like see them like be that way. But at the same time, like, you know, I still love my parents for the way they are, but like I don't know, it was just like hard growing up with that because like sometimes it'd make me feel like I have body image issues or like I need to not eat as much and I don't want to be out of shape and make myself end up like that. But
And it does get harder the older you are, right? Like even now I can tell a difference because like I don't know, when I was younger I could eat whatever I wanted and I would feel the exact same. Like I could eat donuts before a soccer game and it doesn't phase me. But like now, like I'm aware of like how I feel after I eat certain things, and I just know like
well,
the
yeah, it's
older
like
you get,
Chick-fil-A. I'm like, eh.
yeah,
Like I'm only
exactly.
25 and now I start eating junk and I'm kind of like, I don't really care for Chick-fil-A. Like I'd rather go eat somewhere like Kitchen 88 or like go to a nice dinner like Olive Garden's still not good for you. But eating like chicken nuggets now, like I just like don't care for it as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Eh.
I think definitely the education is key. Is like getting people to learn like correct principles young and not
Mm.
have to worry about comparing yourself to others or trying to find like like a magic fix, trying to do a certain diet fad or trying to look a certain way. Again, like if you're you and you're healthy and you're happy, I think that's what's most important. That's kind of like the last thing we wanted to touch on, which is how can people in their daily lives work to change the narrative around dieting and not falling into diet culture.
It's so hard.
I think the biggest thing
Because
we
I
already said
just,
is just comparison. Like, don't compare yourself to others.
right.
Don't if you used to be a pro athlete, don't compare yourself to when you were a pro athlete. Like you
It's
can,
so hard.
because that's one thing people don't think. You think about comparisons, you think about comparing yourself to others, which is probably the biggest thing. But also, you can compare yourself to yourself.
Right.
Like
Well, and a lot of people, since I've been done with gym, they have kind of asked, like, how are you doing with, like, body image or, like, not being as high of an athlete anymore? Like, are you okay with how you look? And here we are, we're talking about it, right here, right now. Like, I'm doing okay, but, like, I'm telling you, like, because like when I worked out so much, I'd always like see my friends and I'm like, man, must be nice to like never have to work out. You just get to hang around and hang out with your friends.
grass is always greener.
Yeah, and then it was like once I was done with gym and then I like didn't do anything for a year, like I didn't work out. I mean, I kind of maybe try to go on a walk or do something, but like I felt like I was just getting more depressed. Like I wasn't depressed with like necessarily how I looked, but I just was like tired and not happy and like even like my friend Emma, like I just noticed such a difference. Like she just feels more happier. She's like has more energy. Like it's just really awesome to see that. And once I started working out again, like I like had more energy. So like when I work out before I go to school every day, like I feel like I'm not sitting in my classes like tired and wanting to sleep like I did when I first started my first semester after the Olympics. I was like I don't know, I just was tired all the time. I was mopey and like now I just have so much more energy and I can get through the day. And then it's like when I miss a day of working out, I like feel droggy again and I'm just like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is horrible. So like once I work out, it just like starts my day off and I just feel really good and I'm like ready to go. I'm energized. I just feel so much better. And it's just like kind of sucky that life's like that. Like you got to work out. Like I wish it wasn't like that because like I hate working out. It kind of sucks. But like once I do, I just feel 100% better.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because I'm not a morning person naturally. In high school, I would always work out towards the end of the day. But like the last, I don't know, it's probably just since high school, I started working out in the mornings and like I love it now. Like it's still really hard for me to wake up early, but like like Mykayla said, like it's a night and day difference. Like it's weird because you'd think that like when you work out really hard, you'd feel tired, but
Mm-hmm.
I have way more energy when I work out hard throughout the day than if I just wake up and go to work. So
Jonas loves working out. He works out like 3 times a day.
no,
He goes to
I
the
work
gym.
out.
Or no, I mean, sorry, he doesn't go to the gym. He works out in the
I
morning
go to the Ninja
upstairs.
Gym.
Yes, but like upstairs, you kind of have like your own gym. But he does like his Peloton. He does his like chin ups, his own little workout. And then he'll go to work, come home, go for a run, and then he'll go to Ninja.
Well,
And I'm
I
like,
only go for a run if I have like extra energy. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I don't know, like I can just
you
tell
gotta
sometimes
get all
like
that energy out before you go to bed.
yeah, I mean I don't know I can just tell like oh I should probably just go on a run, or like sometimes I come home from work and I'm like hey, I'm just feeling good, just gonna
I don't ever feel that
do
way.
homework or go to the Ninja Gym.
I'm
So,
like, I could not go for a run.
but I always feel better, which is what I was going back to saying. Like it's I feel like everyone would be happier if you're healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like with,
Even just baby steps, like going on a
yeah,
walk every
like
day, like get your body moving.
because like working out and eating healthy, there's like the two biggest things. Like you don't even have to do both. Like if you just do one,
Hmm.
like if you just work out and just keep eating whatever you want to eat, like you'll feel way better. If you do both, you'll feel way better. But that might be a lot to start, if you just start eating healthier, don't even add
Right.
working out.
Right.
So I'm a huge proponent of it. Probably always will be. Everyone likes to tell me like, oh, once you guys start having kids, you'll get a dad bod, because like I've got friends with dad bods.
Yeah. I don't think Jonas will
I'm like,
ever have a dad
there's
bod.
never gonna happen. Like I would never let myself get to that point. Like I just, not like it's bad, right? I've like one of my best friends, we make fun of him because he got a dad bod. He jokes around about it. Not a big deal. Like nothing wrong with it. It's just me personally. Like I just know how I am. I'm just happier if I'm healthier. And so I don't think I'll ever stop.
Knowing Jonas, yeah, he'll never stop.
And again, it's not like,
Just always been. You just always been like,
yeah, so it's not like,
just your personality. That's
exactly,
who you
it's
are. You
not
just
like
love
how
to do
great
it.
I am. It's just, I was just born that way, I guess, so I'm just going to keep
Hmm.
doing it. I just like working out. I like eating healthy. So,
Hopefully, I think that's a good thing that you always be like that, because then you'll encourage me after having babies to like get back into shape.
well, I mean, that's another thing too, going to like learning to not compare yourself to yourself now. Because what about when you're pregnant? You don't want to be like, oh, I'm so fat. Like,
Hmm.
when you're pregnant, your body changes. You just got to
Yeah.
be okay with that. It's part of life.
Well, as long as you still tell me I'm pretty, I'll be fine.
You are pretty. I'll still tell you that.
Thanks.
Promise. So that's everything we had. We're going to finish off with an assumption again. If you guys are new, every week we have a weekly assumption that have been sent in by you, the viewers.
Yeah, so make sure to follow us on social media so you can see that and tune in and put your assumptions in, because they're really funny and we really enjoy them.
They've been pretty good. Yeah. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, I'll read this one. So the assumption we got for this episode is Jonas cooks everything and is the one always making meals for the two of you.
It's
And
funny. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I don't know. It's funny because we would definitely agree on that one for sure, because normally that's the way
Until
it
recently,
goes.
yeah. So it's like,
I feel like since I started school, I figured that I would try to be like more productive and cook meals and try better, especially, hopefully being a mom one day, just being able to like learn how to cook, and like we order like Home Chef and stuff. So that really helps because it has everything we need. It has the recipe. So I'm learning. So I feel like that's like a good, easy way for me to get to learn how to cook. And then another thing that's been really awesome is we did those freezer meals, which we talked about last time. And so we just kind of get the crock pot, and then I'll go to the store. Like we had shredded chicken tacos. So then I went to the store and got the tortillas, and we got, the cheese and the sour cream and the avocado. And so I put all that up, put it in the crock pot, came home, made it all for Jonas. And that's just one thing that's been really big for Jonas is he's like, well, you're the wife, so like it'd be really nice if I could come home from work and you could have a good home cooked meal for me when I get home. So I've been trying to do that.
yeah,
I've been really good at it. I feel
it's
like.
it's funny because it was like our whole marriage, like I was always the one that cooked. Because like I've grown up cooking for myself, and like my mom taught me how to cook, and Mykayla never had time, so like nothing on you, just we're doing gym, right? So like when we got married, it was pretty apparent pretty quick. Like I was gonna be the one cooking
Sorry.
if we wanted to eat, which I was fine with. Like I'm okay cooking. But then we started doing the Home Chef, and so we kind of like would both work together. But then sometimes I would just get frustrated with you, so I would just do it
Yeah.
myself.
Or I was like, I can't do this. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because one thing's cooking, and then I feel like it's like burning, so then I just have to get to the other part, and it would like stress me out. But now I'm good at it. Like I used to hate even doing the meat. And now I
That
can
is
cook the
true.
meat by myself, and I feel like, okay, like I know what it looks like when it's fully cooked. Like I'm doing it.
But yeah, because like Mykayla,
It's
when she was
awesome.
practicing, like my old job was like very flexible, and I'd travel. But like when I was home, So like I could be the one that cooked dinners. By the way, when Mykayla came back from practice, it was ready. And then I got a new job this year, and so I'm working full time now. And so that same schedule didn't work because like the last thing I wanted to do after a full day of work is come home and cook dinner. So that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
it'd be
And
kind of
Jonas
nice,
is like,
Mykayla, if you
you
could.
only do school, and you like sometimes work out. So like, could you cook food?
But it's been awesome. Like Mykayla, you've done amazing. And like we still
Pretty proud of
we still work
myself.
together on most meals, I would say.
Sometimes, yeah, but I've been doing majority of it by myself. But
So
I mean,
that's why this assumption's funny because it's like,
but well, obviously they follow us, so they know because we've talked about it. Like
yeah,
we've talked about like how I hate cooking. So I don't know. That assumption's pretty funny because it is pretty accurate.
pretty
But
accurate, but we're changing it. Yeah. And Mykayla's a full-blown chef now, pretty much.
I don't know if I'd go that far with it, but I'm getting there.
Getting
I'm
there.
trying my best.
I appreciate it at least.
And I kind of like have started to enjoy it more. Like I just feel like a mom. I'm like, oh, this is what a mom's
Oh,
like.
that's cute.
I know. I can't wait to like have little kids and like cook for them and make them a little mac and cheese and feed them like their little baby food. It'd be fun.
It'd be pretty
You
fun.
don't think so?
I think it'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe for me, maybe not for you, but it's okay. You'll get stuck changing diapers. Good luck.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's it. Thanks everyone for following along. Those are our thoughts on diet culture. And actually, I think today we agreed on just about everything. This is one of those topics that like I knew like we were just going to agree on because there's a few topics where we agree on
There's a few.
more than disagree.
Yeah.
This is one of them. So you guys are blessed with an agree episode.
I don't know. I thought this was really fun. I hope you guys don't take it too personally. This is just our thoughts and opinions on it, and I hope maybe some of it can help you with anything that you're going through or want to change or make a difference, just because it's helped us in the long run. So
Thanks for following along. Don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or wherever you are listening to this, and we'll catch you on the next one.
we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, guys.